Hello and welcome to this presentation. We'll be sharing with you today some update information on Smoky Valley's KESA process. We are in the middle of year one in the KESA journey, and it's a good time for us to reflect back on the progress that has been made by our staff. Let's review for a moment some important aspects of the KESA model. The initial accreditation expectation for all systems is to verify compliance with certain foundational and regulatory structures. For the past 18 months, various teams of staff in the district have been reviewing these structures to affirm our implementation levels and to recognize areas where we can grow and improve. In many cases, these conversations have led directly to the development of the district and building level goals that will be shared in just a few moments. This is a positive thing as it shows strong alignment between our aspirational goals as a system and the most foundational beliefs about quality educational systems. For several years, our staff has grappled with the concepts and ideas centered around the evidence-based practices shown on this slide. Through several methods, teams of staff have assisted with identifying relevance and rigor as the two R's that our district will be focused on in our KESA journey. The conversations that were held across the district in this process were exciting and instructive. Each building has its own strengths and challenges, but in the end, two categories were selected that align well with all of us. I'll share more information in a moment about the goals that each building has selected in these two areas. In addition to rigor and relevance, the State Board of Education has also established expectations around specific outcomes or results. It is exciting to once again be able to move away from a narrow focus on state assessment results and talk about whole child growth and development. In the past few months, the state has added another results factor in this model, and it is civic engagement. Many of the results factors you see listed on this page are familiar to you and likely don't need much explanation. However, some like post-secondary success or kindergarten readiness, for example, could need to be described and explored in more depth. Look for some upcoming opportunities from the district and your building level KESA team members to share more information about each of these results that you see listed here. Ultimately, the goal of our school system is to help every student meet the definition set forth on the screen we see now. A successful young adult in our society needs to have the 5 core attributes noted in the Kansas High School graduate definition. It is our job to design a system that meets this expectation consistently and reliably for every student at Smoky Valley. Now just a few words to show some major differences between the old QPA model of accreditation and the new KESA model. This chart outlines just a few of those differences. For example, KESA applies a 5-year cycle to the accreditation process, where the QPA model was an annual event. This aligns well with the growth cycle model of KESA. It gives systems enough time to analyze and determine a vision and direction, and then develop long-term plans of implementation and monitoring. As a Year 1 KESA system, our formal accreditation decision will occur in 2022. However, we will have monitoring visits every year from our outside visitation team, and we will file annual status reports with KSDE to verify our process and progress. As mentioned briefly before, KESA allows for a much broader perspective on school quality. While we still monitor student academic achievement as an important factor in our schools, we now will also be working towards the other results outcomes. Finally, in the old QPA system, there was little outside guidance or mentoring built into the system. With KESA, we will have purposeful and intentional collaboration with a team of fellow educators who will give us feedback and guidance on our efforts. Over the past year, we have been building the infrastructure in terms of human resources to support our KESA program. Here you can see the visual representation of the teams that all play a key role in our improvement and accreditation efforts. In many ways, the most important teams listed on this slide are the building leadership teams. While other groups will serve in advisory or monitoring capacities, it is the building leadership teams that have direct accountability to the improvement goals that are established. These teams, made up of leaders, teachers, and counselors, have significant responsibility and authority in this process. Now, I'd like to share with you the overarching district KESA goals for Smoky Valley. You may want to pause this presentation now to give yourself a moment to read through the rigor and relevance goals that are on your screen. The district leadership team developed these goals as a way to keep a clear focus on the broad vision we have for the district. These goals are written as aspirational statements of how we want to do business and are behavior-based, and are not written as very tight SMART style goals. You will notice the terms like evidence, data, and system-wide are key parts to both goal statements and reflect a mindset of growth across the entire district. Here you can see the different building level goals that have been developed by building leadership teams. It is exciting to see what each school proposes to do and how it will impact our students in the years to come. We don't have enough time in this presentation to go into details of each proposed goal, but you can see that each concept is comprehensive in nature, it's relevant to our local needs and issues, and it's worthy of our efforts. When we return from semester break, the building leadership teams, with support of all faculty members, will begin to develop very specific goal statements on these concepts and create implementation plans that we will begin to use next fall in year 2. Finally, let's take a look at what the next 3 to 4 months look like in the KESA journey. As just mentioned, building leadership teams will be gearing up soon and starting to produce action plans. In March, we will invite our outside visitation team to our district for the annual site visit. We're not sure yet what that day will look like, but we do know that we will be prepared to discuss our journey so far and to give insights into the future. We look forward to the opportunity to talk to other educators outside of our system about these plans. And lastly, the year will wrap up with some reports that KSDE will use to confirm our compliance to the accreditation model. I would like to thank everyone on the district leadership team. These people have been instrumental in developing and supporting the Smoky Valley KESA model. These folks have met several times this fall to discuss priorities and processes and are doing a great job of providing leadership for the system. If you ever have any KESA-related questions, feel free to reach out to anyone on this list for assistance. Thank you for listening to this presentation.